Good afternoon, Twitch. Thank you very much for your patience as we try and kind of iron out a couple details. Teams had to make a couple little bit of a substitutions here, but I am spooked and I'm here with my co-caster Mighty Anna, and we are here to cast the second or second week, excuse me, second week of the Twitch of the Georgia Shoot for the Stars Make a Wish tournament benefiting the Make a Wish Georgia. We are here with our game. This is going to be between ETSU Esports and Gamecoccyx. So we actually had a chance. I was actually here with Mariana casting a game earlier with Gamecoccyx, and they were looking pretty good. What do we think so far about this matchup here, Mariana? What's your thoughts on what we're looking at?
I'm not overly familiar with ETSU Esports, but I've heard some really great things about them, especially from their player Sponk. Not really sure what role he plays, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to this game in particular. But for the Gamecocks, I think we all have to highlight the tanks again. J Ready and Word Karsner. That's their primary tank line, especially J Ready. He's just been a menace in general with his Wrecking Ball on a lot of the maps that favor that character. He's just been getting away with so much displacement, so much uh, using Ball's abilities to just get in and get out. And he's just not being punished for it by a lot of the teams we've seen so far. So I think it's up to ETSU to try and uh, control the pace and make sure J Ready doesn't get as much value out of his pile drives, out of his grappling hooks, and just putting a stop to all his ball shenanigans.
And we talked about it a lot in the game with Gamecocks and UGA Red, and I think you're pretty spot on with that. Jay Reddy really does such a great job of kind of opening that up and giving his team as many options as possible. So I think they're really going to we'll have to see ETSU really focusing as much as they can on shutting that kind of aggression down. Now, ETSU, they did play, this was on Saturday, November 28th. They played against ERAU Eagles, and I had a chance to spectate Eagles, and the Eagles were a very solid team. ETSU was able to take that series 3-1 against ERAU. So I don't think ETSU is by any means going to be a slouch in this series. So I think we're in for a pretty good game here. Hopefully, we can see some really great aggression. Really nice. Like we were talking about, we really just need to see some shutting down of the tank line from Gamecocks because I think their tank line just does such a great job of making sure that they have access to actually make those plays. And with that, we're going to be heading here to Lijiang Tower. So in the past, Mariana, we'd seen a lot of play from Jay Reddy with the Hammond. Do we expect that we're going to see a lot of that on a map like Lijiang here?
I think we will see a lot of Wrecking Ball on Li Shang, especially because all 3 points really favor Wrecking Ball really well. Except maybe Control Center, Command Center, because although you can still run ball there, it's just a bit more difficult, especially because it's so enclosed and the corridors are so tight. So most teams often opt to run a Rhine Zarya in Control Center. But since we're starting off on Night Market, there's a good chance we'll probably see the Wrecking Ball. But as of right now, it looks like we're just going to be seeing the Double Shield. And ETSU are going to be running the Dive, which is very good for them. But I'm looking forward to see what the Gamecocks bring to the table with this double shield composition with the Symmetra and Reaper.
And I think we've seen this before. We've seen the Symmetra coming out on this map in particular to really kind of give easier access to the point. And there it is, the teleporter up high to immediately get them onto the point. And with that shield bunker type system, they can just dig in. Jay Reddy immediately popping off on an accretion kill and following up on to the Winston as well too. So now we're immediately looking at a 4v6 situation in favor of Gamecocks, and they are going to really quickly take this first point here.
Yeah, especially that just ends on that Reaper. He just makes life so difficult for Zach, and Zach's just gonna swap off the monkey immediately. They're gonna swap off the dive entirely, actually. They're gonna go straight to the Rhine Zarya.
Yeah, that was a really, really quick switch off of that. Maybe could have tried to make it work. The monkey can definitely see some utility when you're talking about eliminating some of the Symmetra turrets and all that. But like you were talking about, Ent is really going to be shutting down a lot of that aggression. So, definitely it's a play, and we'll see if that works out for him. Burmau is able to pick up a quick kill onto the Orisa to start the fight off. Ent, meanwhile, takes out Zax, and Sponk will be taken out by Word Karsner, leaving the fight slightly favoring Gamecocks. Gamecocks is going to try and push off onto point and try and secure the oh my gosh, a double but pick up
Ooh.
both of the supports with that, and that's going to be a nice clean fight on the part of Gamecocks there.
I was gonna say, I think that Gravitic Flux was a bit of an overcommitment, but he did manage to find both supports, so it did get value in the end. And I'm just not sure if the Gamecocks should be taking, sorry, not the Gamecocks, the ETSU should be taking fights in this corridor, because all that funnel damage from the Reaper, the Sigma, the Symmetra, it's just making life really difficult for them. But as I say that, they just pop off. Oh my god.
Bonk
The
came
Nano
in with
Blade.
a huge Nano Blade and just kind of popping it, trying to maybe secure the point, but it's really not going to get him much of anything. That was a very quick and decisive fight. Really well done by Sponk there.
Yeah, that was an amazing Nano Blade. The timing was there and everything. Pence was not really able to get much value. He was hiding in the corner, hoping to get an ambush, but just gets spotted out immediately by the tanks and just gets pinned. And Wood Carson is going to swap to the May.
Yeah, the Mei seems like you might have a good option there to kind of control the Genji a little bit, corral them, possibly get some little bit early picks from the walls and all that. But it is going to make things a little bit harder for pushing in. They don't have quite as much damage here. But meanwhile, Gamecocks is pushing in very quickly. Shatter comes out. That's going to pick up two. The wall is going to come down to defend, and the Immortality field up is as well too. The visor comes out on the side, just trying to kind of corral them and keep them pushed back. They need to kind of make some space here after Zax was taken out. The Maywall again splitting up the team. Sponk is going to be isolated. He's going to get cleaned up. And now it's going to look like Gamecocks is going to push right back onto the point here.
Yeah, that was very clean execution. A lot of ultimates traded from both sides. The graph for random person doesn't really find too much value there. And the Gamecocks just managed to turn that fight around.
And I mean, it was a shame too, because Random Person really did have a good grab there, but with the use of the Mei, they really split up the other team. There wasn't really any way that ETSU could actually get value out of that grab, despite it being a really solid grab. Wall's going to come out to kind of delay things a little bit more. Meanwhile, the Blade is going to come out as well too, see if Spawn can get any utility off of that. Sound Barrier comes out to try and save some. Spawn absolutely shredding, getting a triple with the Blade, racking on the damage. Burnmouth cleaning up. Sponk is just getting a couple kills here. That was an excellent job. Sponk really showing his stuff right now.
And that is why our fellow casters and just other people in the analyst booth just told us to keep an eye on Spawn. This man is going on a tear right now on the Genji, just consistently picking 3 or more people off with those Dragon Blades.
And we notice now that Gamecocks has kind of switched to a little bit more, their supports are a little bit more geared towards possibly trying to counter that. We see the Lucio trying to come out to maybe give them a little bit more of an escape. Moira coming out to kind of also get herself away from that sort of blade. The sound barrier going to be providing some huge utility, but the question is, can they get the sound barrier in time for the next blade? Burmo gets an early pick with the pulse bomb. Random Person follows up as well too. Shatter comes out, but counter Shatter immediately afterwards, and trying to get some kills, does manage to pick up 3. The Snowball is going to come out and try and kind of just make some time, maybe stall a little bit for the team to get back on. But Burmout and Sponk together clean up the Mei, and Gamecocks isn't going to be able to touch the point, and that's going to be first round of the first map for ETSU there.
That was actually a very close map that ended really turned that fight around with that massive Death Blossom. If only the word cards are on the Mei, if he just stayed alive for just a second longer, if only he had that support, but unfortunately he didn't. He was in a 2v1 situation. And it was very unfortunate that J Ready got stuck by that pulse bomb. He was high charge and everything, was ready to go, but just gets shut down immediately. And without that Zarya, it just makes life really difficult for the Gamecocks.
absolutely solid early use of that pulse bomb as well too. I mean, it pretty much the fight was more or less won off of the back of that. Like you were saying, without that high charge, sorry, it's going to make it really difficult to do anything here. We're getting a little bit of a mirror comp here. May on both sides, the Reinhardt Zarya combination on both sides. Meanwhile, though, Ent sticking on the Reaper is immediately going to try and push in. Big anti in the back line, trying to kind of clutch out, but Zach gets healed in turn. Vermouth gets a pick on Spaghetto. That's going to be down their main healer for ETSU Esports. That's going to make things a little bit. Oh, Spaghetto though, meanwhile gets has respawned and is going to kind of start pushing back up, but that's not going to be enough. And ETSU is going to manage to take out this first point as Vermouth gets another pick on Ward Karsner.
Yeah, they're just not keeping an eye on this Hanzo, but he does go down. Enigma finally picks him off, and this fight just seems to be in the favor of ETSU right now. They have all the positioning in the world.
Snakes does get hit by an anti-nade. Zach gets hit by the healing boost. They're going to both get knocked down by charging into each other. And Burmout's back on fight. Sponk as well, too. They're really doing a great job, ETSU is, of shutting down Gamecoccyx and just kind of controlling them. They're just cleaning up Sponk, absolutely popping off with the Mei. Sponk's got one heck of a deep hero pool, I would say, right now.
Yeah, his aim is also pretty deadly. He just picks each member of the Gamecocks off one by one with those icicles, showing some deadly accuracy on this Mei.
And just absolutely huge ult advantage for ETSU coming into this. They have all 6 ultimates up, whereas Gamecocks is only looking at maybe 3, maybe 4 by the end of the fight coming online. Grav is going to come out, and Hanzo Arrow immediately comes out. The Mei wall is going to try and kind of save some, but the Hanzo Arrow does pick up Enigma. Snoozy, meanwhile, is going to nade on Ent. Ent tried to push past that wall, but was punished for it. Word Karsner does manage to take out Sponk, but it looks like this is probably going to be ETSU's fight here, and we'll probably see a reset from Gamecocks just trying to make this work again.
Yeah, and Gamecocks don't have the luxury of time. ETSU is already up to 80% and up, and they just need to start pushing in, but they don't have the ultimates to really take advantage of this.
And the Blizzard comes out along with the Guardian Angel. Blizzard doesn't catch anyone, but Zach gets a nice charge on Ent to secure. Meanwhile, Burmout tearing it again, and a second dragon. He had a dragon last fight, immediately gets one again. Shatter comes out, counter Shatter, try to kind of shut that down. Nothing quite comes of it, though. And ETSU looking very strong after a commanding win on round 2 here, and that's going to secure them map 1. That went, frankly, I didn't have a lot of time to see ETSU playing, but from what I had seen of Gamecocks, they were playing extremely well, and frankly, that did not go how I was expecting it to go. ETSU was playing extremely well. What did they do right there?
Wow, well, they were basically all firing on all cylinders. Burmout was hitting headshots left, right, and center. Bonk was just nailing all the icicles on all the members of the Gamecocks, and the Gamecocks are just getting staggered super duper late and one by one on top of that. And it doesn't help that ETSU had a full bank of ultimates. They didn't even have to commit that many ultimates in each fight. They only used Grab Dragons to win one of those fights, and the Gamecocks had to commit Sound Barrier. They had to use a lot of ultimates just to sustain throughout that Grab Dragon combo, and that didn't bode really well for them.
Yeah, and it was it was oh gosh, I just got a notification here. Kind of derailed my train of thought here, but Mighty N, I don't know if you've seen, but we have just received a $100 donation, which means this next map we are going to have to be casting this one in an ASMR voice.
Oh.
So for those that had the chance to tune in yesterday, I had the privilege of casting a map with Lee as a uwu voice, and so I don't know if somebody's just out there, out to get me. Just kind of got my name, got my number. They just wanna really send it. But this next map, which we're going to be moving to here shortly after map selection, is going to be in an ASMR voice. How do you feel about that, Mariana?
Well, that's gonna be an experience, especially since I already have to talk pretty quietly because it's kind of late where I am. It's just a little bit past 1 in the morning, so I don't think I'll have too much difficulty doing an ASMR voice, but Yeah, this should be interesting.
So yeah, maybe kind of a little bit more in line with what you're already doing. For me at least, it's definitely not 1 in the morning. So I've had the luxury of being probably a little bit louder. So this will maybe take a little bit of adjustment, especially considering how flashy a lot of these plays have been. It's really hard to kind of contain your excitement when you're seeing Spawn popping off like that, and with some really excellent ults. It's going to be hard to kind of maintain that, that calm, cool, collected composure, I think here.
Yeah, I completely agree. And one thing I forgot to highlight was that the ETSU tanks were actually doing quite well in order to match the pace of J-Ready and Spaghetto. Uh, there were some really great counter charges and some really great counter shatters on the side of ETSU, and that just shut almost all the engages that the Gamecocks tried to do down, and that just put them on the right foot. That was the first step they needed when the initial engagements through the for the tanks, and then from there the DPS Spong and I believe it was Burmau, they're just free to free fire. They're just free to fire off their bullets into the heads of the members of the Gamecocks.
Yeah, and I think they did ETSU did pretty much exactly what we were talking about. They did a good job of, like you were saying, matching the pace and matching and exceeding the pace of the tanks that were playing for the Gamecocks and they did such a good job of just kind of making sure that their DPS had the best situation presented. And I think I've got a little bit of a bias. I definitely consider myself a tank main. This is where I played most of my games, but it's I think the tanks really make they play such an important role to give their support space and to give their DPS room to really kind of actually maneuver. And I think the tanks that we were seeing out of ETSU just frankly they just did a better job. They just did a better job making space for their team. Like you said, great counter charges, great shatters. There was a couple times that I saw that we saw the Reinhardt, I believe it was it Snake on Gamecocks that was playing tank. Would Reinhardt would go for a couple charges and just immediately afterwards would be shut down by Zach. Counter charging, knocking them both to the ground. So I think you're spot on. They've
Yeah.
done a great job of really kind of shutting down those tank plays.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. And it's up to the members of the Gamecocks to try and just step up their game and sort of take the take the pace of the game back. They wanna be the ones to dictate the flow of the game. They wanna play on through their tempo. They wanna be the ones aggressing. So, and I think that's where the Gamecocks really excel. So that when they're dictating the pace of the game, that's when they can really have a commanding presence. Members like Jay Reddy, once he establishes his presence in the server, then the Gamecocks can really show their true colors.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we really haven't seen much of the Hammond play come out. I mean, like you were talking about, the Lijiang Tower in general was still kind of not perfectly ideal for the Hammond play. So I suspect that their pick for this next map, which it looks like we will be heading to Havana, is going to make things a little bit more tailored for that. Real quickly, before we get into the game, I do want to read off a couple donations. Just want to say thanks to all of our spectators who have donated already. We have ETSU Uncle Jeff saying Merry Wishmas. We have Joe saying, "Can I get a fat shout out to Jesus Christ?" And we have Spaghetto. All my eliminations doubled plus $15 from the previous match. And so this was from Spaghetto, who's actually in game right now. But we are back in game now, so I think we have to switch over to the ASMR voice. And this is my best impersonation of it. So hopefully this is close enough for the spectators. So welcome welcome back to game 2 on Havana of ETSU versus Gamecocks. This is going to be very difficult to maintain composure. uh, So let's look at the lineups of what we're seeing so far here. We are seeing the double shield meta coming up with J Ready and Snake 505 running for Gamecocks. They are going to be running on attack first. Looks like they'll be setting up to bunker down pretty hard on the point there. Meanwhile, on ETSU, we are looking at pretty close to what they'd been running, although we now see a Widow and a Widow and an Ashe coming out. So plenty of range, plenty of ability to challenge, and that's going to be a brick that they're going to have to kind of push past for Gamecocks to really have success here. All right.
I find the Ana pick to be very interesting because, yes, Ana provides a lot of burst healing, but she doesn't have the amount of sustain that a Batiste would have. So I'm interested to see how Snoozy is going to utilize this Ana, especially in this fight.
ETSU is pushing up very aggressively here, managing to get plenty of ground. Gamecocks have not really contested too much they've not really been contested, by ETSU too much. Gamecocks pushing the cart here. They have managed to get to the first corner here and are now facing a little bit of a stall, just kind of poking each other out, trying to wear down each other's barrier. The Immortality field did come out. Spock is going to find a pick onto Spaghetto. That's a good fire strike that's going to tear through. Word Karsner kind of caught out of position, caught behind. Random person is going to clean him up, and we're going to now see a lot of people on fire, but Spock is taken out by Ent, so now we will see a duel here. Meanwhile, though, Props Brian was able to pick up Spock, and Spock already almost at Bob charge here.
I would just want to highlight Ent is on that patented Widowmaker. We've seen some great stuff coming out for him on this character before, like shots like that. He just takes out Spock again, and there is no rest to bring him back a second time.
The bot has come out trying to kind of corral them in. Random person playing very aggressively with this full charge Zarya. Zarya is trying to build as much as possible, already at 89% to Grav, so we'll want to try and get there as quickly as possible, really cleaning up. Grav will be available in this next fight here. With a nice pick on Ent, that's going to delay yet again for Gamecocks, and another following up on Enigma. Burmow is doing an excellent job of tearing in and manages to pick up the Orisa as well too. Is going to get pushed by the Brigitte and kind of needs to fall back out of position, but isn't quite able to secure the kill on them. Random person meanwhile tearing up, and Ent answers against Burmow with their own pick.
I think that's all they really need. Burwell has done his job. He got 3 picks, got the hell out, and yeah, that's really all that ETSU can ask for. They just immediately popped off, and they all just did really well. But J Ready's back on his wrecking ball.
And it's a very difficult time to switch into, though, because we now have 5 ults available. Word Karsner does get taken out by Burmow. That's going to be a nice opening pick. Meanwhile, J Ready falling into the background, and Word Karsner is taking another pick on Probs Brian. That's going to be one support and a DPS down as well for ETSU. Word Karsner pushing in, really trying to make some space here. Zach is kind of getting backed up and is taken up by Word Karsner again. Word Karsner has been on point with these Hanzo shots lately. Nobody's pushing the cart, though, right now. It's kind of a little bit back. They finally get back on. That was a really decisive fight by Gamecocks there.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Word cars are just nailing these arrows on the Hanzo, just providing the opportunities that the Gamecocks sorely needed in order to push this card as far as they did.
Zach waits till the absolute last minute to get pushed on point. Immortality Field is going to come out, try and protect the Grav here. J Ready is pushing in, doesn't pop up anybody with the pile driver, but Ent and Word Karsner both carrying in, takes out one of the DPS and Snoozy on the Ana. Meanwhile, Guardian Angel comes out, tries to keep everybody up. They're doing what they can. Dragon is going to come in, try and clear off ETSU from the point, and with that, Gamecocks is going to take this first point A after a little bit of a rocky start there.
Word Karsner is absolutely popping off on this Hanzo right now. He just built some dragons insanely quickly off of a very late swap to the character, and he has just had so much impact on the game so far.
And Word Karsner and Ent have really presented a really difficult front for ETSU to try and push on. We now see that Sponk has switched to the Sombra to try and maybe nullify some of this advantage that the dive is affording the Gamecocks. A little bit of engagement here. Snake is pushing up, trying to make some space. J Ready in the backline. Shatter though comes out. Immortality is going to keep Snake up as much as possible. Zach comes in with a charge, trying to make some space, but he's countercharged by That would be by Snake. Snake gets his own shatter. There's no protection available.
Ooh.
Tries to push in. Doesn't have anything to capitalize off of it. Sponk is going to hose him down before he can push. And it's a brawl on the point here as J Ready dives into the back line trying to make some space. And Gamecoccyx is now going to be shut down about halfway to point B.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of an optimistic shatter from Snake. He couldn't really follow up from it, and because he just didn't have the amount of healing that because both supports from ETSU were still alive. Snoozy was just sitting on the high ground, just shooting darts into his teammates, and he just couldn't outdamage the healing coming through from ETSU.
Snake comes in with an early charge onto Zach. Zach is going to get pinned, but he is going to be saved by the barrier. Word, Karsner, and J Ready and Enigma all taking in some picks. Burmow, though, meanwhile, does come out with a pick on the pulse bomb. Burmow shredding into the side and to swap to McCree to try and kind of deal with that Tracer a little bit. Tracer and Sombra just trying to shut that down.
Oh
Burmow
my
does take
god.
in Karsner. Burmow is absolutely shredding in the back line. Snake has been hacked and is left defenseless, and that's just going to clean up on end. Really well done by the ETSU team at this point.
That was some insane Tracer play coming through from Burmow. He has just gone on a massive tear. He clutched that fight out for them by just killing nearly all the members of the Gamecocks, and now the Gamecocks are kind of in a stalemate.
And once again, this is what we've kind of seen throughout the length of this game, is ETSU is coming up on a huge ult bank. Random person, very aggressive with their pushing. The EMP is going to come out, but the Immortality field is up as well too, but it does get immediately hosed down, and that is just going to be a quick cleanup with very little time on the clock. J Ready is going to try and touch the cart. He does get on the turret, pops the mines, so just trying to kind of corral and prevent and maybe try and get what he can here, but ETSU just has to walk through the mines to the point. Word Karsner does get on the point as well too. Grav is going to come out, corral J Ready and Word Karsner, and that's going to secure that fight for ETSU.
That spawn camp was absolutely massive, just prevented the rest of the members of the Gamecocks to get to the point. It was just J Ready all alone on the point, and that just sealed the final fight for the Gamecocks, only managing to get 70.31 meters. So, not an unreasonable distance for ETSU to go.
I think it was it's important to note that that kind of middle point, it can be rather difficult to push through. It's a lot less open area. It's a lot harder to move around, and I think in general we've seen the Gamecocks really kind of thrive when they have more space to move around and to make work. So it maybe was not a situation that benefited the Gamecocks as well as it could have. So now we'll see what they can operate on defense, and it looks largely like we'll see more or less the same. Well, actually, we're switching to a little bit of a dive composition for ETSU, whereas Gamecocks is running to more of a kind of dig in your feet and get set up type composition here. What do we Mariana, what do we think we need to see Gamecocks do to really try and corral and shut down on this first point? Do you think it's possible for them to take just point A here?
It's not out of the question for the Gamecocks to defend on A, especially since it's going for a very forward hold, but they need to make sure their aggression pays off. They need to make sure Burmow does not get as much value as he has been on this Widowmaker, and he already picks off Spaghetto with a headshot.
That's huge. Yeah, that pick on Burma was excellent. They did a great job of immediately diving in and taking out Zach instantly. But unfortunately, Burma, like you were saying, just getting great utility. Random person takes out Snoozy. Word Karsner is going to be getting a kills D-Max random person as well too. And it looks like we might see a little bit of a stabilization here coming from Gamecocks. Just like that though, Ent is shut down as well too. So we now see 3 of Gamecocks stuck on point and kind of isolated, trying to wait on the rest of their team to get here. It's really important. Burmow gets a very key pick. That's 1 man support down here, and they do manage to take out, that would be Snake as well too, finally cleaning up on Enigma, but they delayed a huge amount of time at that point there.
That was not a bad delay coming through from the Gamecocks, but Burnout already has the Infrasights and Sponk is nearly at an EMP, so they need to be extremely careful on where Karsner goes down to random person on the Diva.
and it's very, very big danger here, has been hacked
Oh my
and
god. That
extremely low
EMP was
health.
absolutely massive.
That was absolutely huge. Manages to EMP most of the team. Zach dives in, trying to just kind of secure a little bit more. Sponk with an excellent positioning. Burnout is going to try and get chased down here, but they don't have anything to push up. It's a beautiful grapple shot up into the air onto an Enigma, and ETSU is looking commanding moving into this point A of this first map here.
Burnout was just getting all the space he needed. Zach and random person just opening up so much of the map for this Widowmaker. And allowing Burnout to just take these aggressive angles and just being able to outduel Word Carsner. Word Carsner's not being given enough room to pop off. Although Burnout might have overstepped his boundaries here.
You can tell that Jay Reddy is really kind of feeling like he needs to do something to shut down the Widowmaker. Dive really aggressively on top there, but gets immediately shut down. Burmout is
Oh
back,
no.
still back in the fight. Had a huge Diva Bomb, takes out both Spaghetto and Enigma, and with barely much of a fight here, ETSU is going to secure this first fight of Point B.
Yeah, the rest of Havana looks like it's just gonna be all ETSU. They Everyone is just firing on all cylinders. Random person's just popping off on this diva, finding nuke opportunities. Burmao is just finding headshots left, right, and center, and Spunk is just being an annoyance in the backlines, hacking the members of the Gamecocks, not allowing them to use their abilities.
Yep, he comes out and only manages to hit Snake 505, but meanwhile, Snoozy, Spunk, and Burmout all secure their own kills. Burmout with another kill as well, too, and just absolutely shredding into the line. J Ready's the only one left on point, and that's going to be it for Map 2, Havana.
That EMP hitting Snake was all that really needed because he had the Shatter that could have potentially won them a fight, but not being allowed to use Shatter, not being allowed to use his shield, he just couldn't really do anything. He was a walking ult battery at that point, and there wasn't much the rest of the Gamecocks could do.
And thankfully, I can now go back to talking like a normal human being. That was it was bizarrely exhausting whispering that entire time, but that was a really really excellent performance from ETSU. They have been like you said, been firing on all cylinders this whole game. I don't know if there's really a weak link in what we've seen their offense and their defense capable of. They've both, like, all the team members have been so very aggressive, but have been very calculated in their aggression. I think towards the end there, we'd seen Ward Karsner really being very, very aggressive, trying to, or actually it was Jay Reddy, excuse me, trying to be very aggressive to dive on to Burmau and try and shut them down, but just wasn't able to make it work, and it was ended up being punished for it. So I think ETSU is doing a great job of kind of getting under the skin of the Gamecocks and really kind of forcing them to make those decisions that might not be the best decision at the time and punishing them accordingly.
Yeah, I completely agree. Jay Reddy just felt like he had to do something. He felt like he had to be the hero. He had to take out Burnout on that Widowmaker who was being a massive nuisance to them. But he also had to deal with Spock, who was constantly hacking him and Snake, and not being allowed to use his abilities. He was just feeding the members of ETSU ult charge, and he just couldn't do everything on his own. Work Carson was also doing really well that game, finding many headshots with his Hanzo. He got play of the game for that late swap onto the Hanzo that actually managed to get them point A, but yeah, the Gamecocks just couldn't really match the pace that ETSU were setting.
And it was they both teams put up a really good try, and like you were saying, especially with Ward Karsner played so aggressively and did such a great job of really kind of making things work and trying to figure things out. And I think Ward Karsner should be commended for just kind of making what looked like a very difficult and challenging push actually kind of possible. But there was just so much space that was afforded by the tanks. I mean, random person was so aggressive, and we had Sponk was just like tearing into defense. Zach was giving so much space between Zach and random person's tank play. It was very difficult for the Gamecocks to kind of find any room to kind of crack that defense. And meanwhile, when Sponk and Burmau are just allowed to go off, it's very difficult to do much of anything against that when they're just tearing into you from every side, and the next time you turn around, you see a tank in your face as well too.
Yeah, going off of that, the positioning from Enigma and Spaghetto has kind of been exposed by the DPS on the side of ETSU. They've constantly been caught out by headshots. They've constantly been getting hacked. They even got nuked by random person on the Diva. So maybe they should try and fix their positioning just a little bit in order to maybe mount a comeback in the series as we head towards Kings Row.
So Kings Row, our potentially final map of this series. This is a best 3 of 5. So this at this point now, if ETSU does take this map, they're going to secure this win in this the winners bracket of this tournament. But as a reminder, we are looking at a double elimination bracket. So we do have a redemption bracket as well too. So Gamecocks, even if they do lose this game, they will be moving down to the redemption bracket and still have a chance to make it to the finals here. So we'll need to see some good plays from them, but I think it's definitely possible. What do you think we need to see? What's kind of the key for ETSU's strategy here? What do they need to do, or excuse me, for Gamecocks' strategy here? What do they need to do to kind of try and actually make this work out for them here?
I think what they need to do is sort of just keep a calm head. They need to not let ETSU just get in their heads and sort of mess with their mentality. They need to make sure they have a clean pace, and especially with this pirate ship composition with a double shield, it's gonna be definitely gonna be interesting.
Teleporter is destroyed, but Burmow is set up in the backline and just absolutely shredding. Meanwhile,
Ooh.
though, gets shut down, and that's going to be 3 picks in the favor of Gamecocks, which is going to be very difficult to come from. ETSU has a lot they have to recover. Beautiful sleep onto Ent in the background. That's going to be capitalized on. So we're looking at a little bit more of a fair fight here, though. Meanwhile, Gamecocks is on point, and they are dug in. We're going to see a push in from Zach and Random Person, but they're going to shut down and just get destroyed by the DPS here. And Sponk is just going to kind of dive in, try and see what he can make happen here, but there's a lot of damage and just can't quite make it work. And that's going to be first point very quickly for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I don't think this fast pick up position was the right idea. They might have been trying to go for the cheese, trying to go for a point A hold, but yeah, it looks like the Gamecocks weren't in the mood for some cheese. Then they just dismantled that composition outright with the Echo and almost added duplicate. Word Carson has the Pulse Bomb, and just a wealth of ultimates coming through for the Gamecocks.
Just as you mentioned, the Pulse Bomb, Word Karsner comes in, takes out Burmout. Burmout earlier had taken out End, but was revived by Snake, so Snake is immediately going to nullify any of that. The Hammond Mines are going to come out and try and corral the point. That's going to block off a lot of access to it. Burmout did get rezzed, but the Gravitic Flux is going to come out. Random Person gets caught in it, but isn't going to quite go down until it gets knocked out of position and taken out then. The shield is going to come out to try and kind of give them a little bit more time. ETSU needs to regroup here and try to reset. But meanwhile, though, we see pushing in Sponk very aggressively, trying to make his team some space, kind of saying, hey, look, I'm going to play the role of tank right now and see if I can't give my team a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, this Hammond is J-Ready on the Hammond, on his patented Hammond. He's affording so much space yet again. Looks like the Gamecocks are looking rejuvenated right now, and J-Ready looking so much better than he ever did on the previous maps now that he's on his comfort pick.
And I mean, Gamecocks are absolutely shredding in here. They're doing a really good job of controlling Pulse Bomb, and the Diva Bomb comes out, and that's going to take out too. And the fight is clearly going in the favor of Gamecocks here. Burmout's just trying to escape, trying to get out of here. Lots of aggression coming on. They're diving on. He might be able to escape.
This payload is just sailing through King's Row. Point B is almost captured, but Zach is going to contest for the last second on his Wrecking Ball, but not going to last for much longer.
And Transcendence does come out just to try and kind of secure and guarantee that they win. Minefield comes out, kind of prevents. J-Ready does manage to pick up both Snoozy and Random Person with that. And meanwhile, caught in the back is Probs Brian, and that was Probs Brian and Burmout just kind of caught out and couldn't really get out of there.
Yeah, that tight corridor, that tight room on the right, just being body blocked by the Ham, and he's a gigantic sphere. Can't really escape from that, especially when there's a minefield blocking off one of the exits.
Vidic Flux does come out, does manage to catch Mercy and the Guardian Angel, but she's going to quickly be brought back up to full accretion, trying to take her out of the sky, but isn't quite enough. Meanwhile, though, while they're distracted, everybody's swooping in to try and kind of secure it. Spaghetto does get knocked out of mech. Burmow's just trying to kind of knock one more of them down, and Spawn carrying in does manage to take out J-Ready. And for the first time this map, with 4 minutes left on the clock, ETSU is going to stabilize here.
Yeah, but the Gamecocks have a lot of ultimates coming up on their side. They're gonna have another Pulse Bomb, they have a duplicate, but Sponk does have the EMP and he can shut them all down right here.
EMP and Shatter combination. Excellent use. Only 2 ultimates to guarantee that fight win, with a lot of ultimates coming online for Gamecocks. That was extremely well done. Great coordination on their part there.
Yeah, and no Transcendence from Enigma as well. He used that earlier to secure point B, and he hasn't had time to build up another one, so that fight was an instant win for ETFU.
Man, and then we now see ETSU pushing up pretty aggressively, just trying to kind of, again, they've stabilized, they've got their feet underneath them. Burmow's going to pop the Cowboy. Cowboy comes out, does manage to take out Snake, and Sponk with a pick on Ent. That's going to lead us into a 4v6 situation here. Sponk trying to kind of corral and maybe DMX Spaghetto, but decides it's not worth it, doesn't want to get picked here. Trying to take that fight again, though. Spaghetto pushing back in, does with the help of Enigma manage to take Burmow out. Gravitic Flux comes out. Transcendence is going to come out, try and keep their team up. Duplication comes out as well too, and we see Sombra coming out, trying to get a big EMP. The Diva Bomb comes out, doesn't quite pick up anyone. Spock does catch out Word Cardinal. EMP from the Duplication comes out and starts shredding into the team, and ETSU is on their back legs, trying to just get out of there with their heads.
Yeah, even though that fight looked good for the Gamecocks, ETSU are currently trading back right now. 2 picks coming through for them now, 3 picks. And yeah, it looks like ETSU are going to stabilize once again. Even though the EMP was good from End, it just wasn't enough for them to make some more distance.
Enigma immediately shuts down Burmow, but meanwhile, though, Zach answers with an incredible shatter, and ETSU moves in, cleans up, almost secures the team kill, and wins that fight after what looked like a pretty sloppy and kind of messy engagement previously.
Yeah, I think that shatter was all they really needed. I think the EMP was a bit of an overcommitment, but it did manage to win them the fight. So that's one less ultimate that the Gamecocks have to worry about, as they are holding onto a Shatter and Pulse Bomb.
Zach kind of trying to set up in a cheeky position, hasn't been spotted out, does manage to get Spaghetto, pulls him all the way back in. Gravitic Flux comes out, catches 3, Hack comes out onto Snake. Snake is very, very low. Sponk is trying their best to kill them with some crazy positioning, and already almost back at Shatter. What a play on Zach's part there.
Yeah, that pin on the Diva just messed up the plans of the Gamecocks entirely. They were not expecting the flanking Reinhardt, and this is why you always check your corners, ladies and gentlemen.
Zach set up for the same position, trying to make it happen again. Jay Ready, though, answers with a shatter, shuts that down. Gamecocks are going to be pushing in. Both supports are running for their lives, trying to get out of there. Probs Bryant can't quite make it out. Snoozy has taken lots of fire. Both supports are down. That's going to be a really crucial stagger here. Meanwhile, though, Sponk is in the back line, prepared to touch the cart whenever. Might be able to get EMP upline in time, though.
It is definitely not out of the question, but Zack is already very low. Can he even get the shatter off? No, he goes down as he's casting the ultimate.
It's a huge pick on Word Karsner's point, shutting that down. Probs Bryant does get the revive on Zach. The High Noon is going to come out in the backline, and Burnout secures 3 kills, followed up by the EMP. They're going to just clean up on this point. There is 20 seconds left. It's going to be very close if Gamecocks can even touch this. Can they even reach the point here?
Again, bit of a weird EMP from Spawn there. He could have held on to it for this final fight, sort of to deny them any opportunity to touch the payload, but it's not like, it doesn't look like it's gonna matter in the end, as it's just clean up now for ETSU.
Reddy just barely was able to squeeze onto the point and actually touch it, but immediately gets slept and gets shut down right afterwards. Meanwhile, Enigma does manage to get onto the point, and ETSU is going to barely manage to secure this with 69.39 meters. That was very close. That was a lot of back and forth, especially on that last stretch of the map there.
Yeah, Some a bit of ultimate mismanagement there coming through from ETSU. So the Gamecocks could have definitely capitalized off of those ultimate misplays, especially Sponk. His EMPs were a bit odd here and there, but when he did land those massive EMPs, those completely changed the tides of the fight in favor of ETSU. So some good stuff coming through from both teams. And J Ready looking very, very clean right now on his Reinhardt and Wrecking Ball. His Wrecking Ball was a menace on A and B, and his Reinhardt didn't look too shabby on C, going up toe-to-toe with the likes of Zach, who was honestly one of the brightest spots for ETSU.
Teams played really, really well there. I think this is probably the game where we really started to see Gamecocks really start to come alive. They really capitalized off of that kind of risky play that ETSU was doing with the very aggressively positioned Bastion and Symmetra. And they did such a good job of seeing, okay, here's this, we're going to use this, we're going to snowball here. And they managed to get it most of the way without too much of a struggle. They did kind of stagger a little bit there in the middle and especially towards the end, but all in all, I think Gamecocks probably played the best game that they've played thus far in that previous match.
I completely agree, and now they're running out this Symmetra Bastion comp yet again with a more mobile and offensive double shield.
And sure enough, teleport coming up on top. We've actually seen this run out before. Burmow is sitting up on top. That's going to hose down the immortality field. Burmow in a really difficult position to contest here. And with that, ETSU is immediately pushing up onto point. Sleep comes out onto Spaghetto, just trying to kind of do what they can. Huge charge from J Ready to take out Zach. Sponk, though, does manage to trade left and right. Burmow is still set up on top of that pillar and is just hosing into them, and they can't do anything to contest that positioning.
Yeah, the Bastion on the shield in front of them, just that was too much of a problem. They were pushed back into a corner, both literally and metaphorically. They couldn't really get much out of it, and J Ready's just gonna get staggered here yet again.
Pushing up very aggressively. Zach playing so aggressively here, just trying to make things work. There was a charge that came out from J Ready trying to kind of pin Zach, but wasn't quite able to and was punished for it. Meanwhile, though, Ent is in a position that's going to be very dangerous for him, very aggressively positioned. Will be lucky if he can get out, but it does manage to kind of escape out. Random person, though, hot on his heels, just trying to kind of punish that. ETSU positioning very aggressively, trying to get what utility they can. Spawn does take out Spaghetto, but Spaghetto, the memento mori, manages to knock out Zach. And finally...
He wasn't looking at his feet. Oh my god, and a massive shatter from J Ready just to end that fight. Well, that was certainly one wacky fight.
that was a wild experience. And now both teams kind of starting to stabilize, but ETSU with a deep ult bank moving into this.
Yeah, there's a wealth of ultimates on both sides, but definitely in favor of ETSU as they have a full bank of ultimates. You're probably looking at a gravitic flux here from random person, and there it is. Finds all 6 members!
Gravitic flux! Immortality isn't able to save anyone! Oh my gosh!
That was all they needed, the Shatter Flux combination, and it finds all 6 members of the Gamecocks. They could not escape it because they were in a tight corridor. There was really nowhere to run.
Burmow, Zach, and Sponk setting up very aggressively again, just trying to get the utility out of it. Riptire's going to come out, but it does find random person and probs Brian. Sponk manages to teleport out just in time, though.
Yeah, a little bit of over-aggression coming through from the side of ETSU, and they did get rightfully punished with the Riptire. So they probably need to just calm down a little bit, but there is the tank mode coming through from Burmow.
Gonna try and kind of shred. Immortality's coming out. Immortality, though, not gonna be anything for Spaghetto. Does manage to knock him out. Random person takes out the Immortality field. Huge shatter coming out from J Ready in a sneaky, cheeky position. Just like that, Gamecocks turns that fight around.
Yeah, Snake pops the rally. I don't think that was really necessary considering they had already won the fight with the Shatter and the Grab. They could have probably held on to it, but now that the rally is gone, they only have a window to work with, while Props Brian does have Wings and Snoozy coming up to a second Nano Boost.
And this amplification matrix could be huge. Dragon is online as well too. Probably see that popping out pretty soon here. Gonna tear through, just try and kind of push him back off the point. Not gonna find anybody though. Meanwhile, Gamecoccyx is pushing out pretty aggressively. We see Spaghetto really trying to do what he can to take out some supports, diving in very deep, but Zach is going to take him out. Meanwhile, Jay Ready is pushing up, trying
Oh
to
no.
make him some support, but Jay Ready is taken out in turn by Zach. Hammer is going to come out, not going to find anything, can't really capitalize off of it, but ETSU is pushing onto point, and they're going to unseat Gamecocks from their position dug in here.
Yeah, a bit of a positioning error from Spaghetto. He was very much in there. I don't think he was expecting all the members of
Oh.
ETSU to just come charging up the staircase after him, and J Ready's just split off. He's gonna lose this Reinhardt 1v1.
Yeah, an absolutely huge accretion coming out from that was coming out from random person did manage to knock Jay Reddy out of his shatter, and this is going to be a very difficult fight here for Gamecocks coming on with almost no ult. They do have the Riptire, it's almost up. The shield is going to come out along with
Oh
the Gravitic
no.
Flux. Gravitic Flux grabs two, does manage to follow up then on Enigma and Spaghetto, and ETSU, the only ones left on point are Ent and Jay Reddy. And Burmel
Oh.
cleans up, and that's going to be the end of that. ETSU secures map 3 and this series. Wow.
Yeah, they just had, they were coming up on 6 ultimates yet again. That was basically an ultless fight win earlier when Spaghetto dove in too deep, but and and Zach was swinging his hammer so much he was building ult charge off of Word Cars and Zarya, so he basically had another shatter at the ready. So yeah, ETSU just showing great mechanical play and great ultimate usage
Yeah,
throughout this
I
entire series.
just really across the board, both teams playing really well. Both players from both rosters playing really well. I do think it's really important to note that Gamecocks did have two kind of emergency substitutions here, so they were kind of playing not with the team that they're really expecting to go into this game with. ETSU did have to, I believe, make a substitution as well too. So both teams are kind of playing in a situation they're probably not super used to being in, but despite that, that was some really excellent games to watch. I really enjoyed seeing both teams play there.
Yeah, despite the emergency subs, this series was fairly competitive all throughout. Saw some close moments here and there, especially on Kings Row and Lijiang Tower. Havana, you could say, was one-sided in favor of ETSU, but you couldn't. Yeah, it was fairly close throughout the entire series. Both teams played extremely well.
And once again, as a reminder, Gamecocks are still in the tournament. This is a double elimination, so they have moved down to the redemption bracket. So later today at 2:45, we will have Charger Blue versus ERAU Eagles. The winner of that game will go on to face Gamecocks for a position potentially in finals. Meanwhile, though, ETSU Esports moves on, and they will face whoever wins between the winner of Charger Blue and ERAU Eagles and Gamecocks. So, still got a good bit more Overwatch coming up. This has been in the blue bracket, the Supernova bracket, and we still have some more to follow as well too. So, uh, real quickly, did want to just once again thank you all to all of our donors. A special thanks most recently to ETSU Uncle Jeff for making me cast that game in ASMR voice. It was an experience. It was a lot of fun. But thanks again to also Jowo and Insanitizer. Jowo with a and decently big shout out to Word, and also Insanitizer with a Word Pog. So thank you all of our donors. We're now at $838, which is absolutely awesome, and with almost half a month left to go too of games. I'm really excited. I think we can really raise some serious funds for this.
Yeah, that was certainly an interesting series having to cast in ASMR. Again, I didn't have to really change too much of what I was already doing. I just had to get a little bit closer to the mic. But yeah, thanks again so much for the donations. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah,
So we're gonna take a little bit of a break here. We'll be coming back at about 2:45 p.m. Eastern time, and again, that game is going to be with Charger Blue and ERAU Eagles, both of whom have been playing very well this series, and both of whom will need to win that game to continue on in the tournament. So they both of them have very strong motivations in this. So once again, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, audience. And thank you, Mariana, for casting this with me. I had a great time and really enjoyed it.
yeah, been a pleasure casting with you too, Spooked. It's been a pleasure casting this series. The series was really fun to watch.
All right, and one more because I totally slipped my mind, but want to make sure to include this as well too because how can we not? Thank you, Skulls, for sponsoring this tournament as well too. Done a really great job. We really appreciate your sponsorship and involvement. Actually, won a backpack from them at the previous tournament, and it's a really nice backpack. They sell some excellent stuff, so make sure to support them. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys, and we will see you back here at about 2:45.
Laters.
Are so unchanging. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. The leaves are so unchanging.
Here's a short commercial for Make-A-Wish, by the way.
On March 28th of 2017, that call came in. When she called, she said, "Are you near Ethan?" And I said, "Yes, I am. And she said, "Do you mind leaving and going somewhere else?" So I went outside on the deck, and instantly, as soon as she said, "Kelly, the biopsy came back. Ethan has cancer." At that point, they told us it would be a 3.5-year journey, fight for his life.
The hardest part of treatment was probably all of the side effects I had to go through. I got like nausea, I lost my feelings in my hands and feet, I gained a lot of weight. The protocol has been in my mind. I wanted to make it like forever. And then when Make-A-Wish came, I finally got that chance to make protocol.
The next phase of your wish coming true, Ethan, is that in the last weekend of January, there's this cool festival called the Game Jam, right? And have you ever seen this Shark Tank? It kind of sounded like that. So these teams are going to compete to prototype a starter version of your game, and then they're going to pitch it to you. So you get to kind of pick which one you like.
So then you get led by a friend, go to a zone to unlock one of your abilities, which that represents that in your cancer journey, you cannot ever fight alone. You need help with your friends and family, and nurses and oncologists to help you out. Down the hatch.
The game is called Protocol, and it has been an absolute joy to work on it for you. We're at a point that we can deliver it to you and that you can play it tonight. We've taken Ethan's art and turned it into a three-dimensional third-person parkour game. The whole underlying premise of the game has to do with getting support from people around you and drawing power from those that are there to help you.
And I was able to build on that thought when I was able to get that wish granted. And so it was amazing.
Thank you, Make-A-Wish Georgia. Because of you and because of your hearts and your mission, you have made Ethan's dream come true. You have given him joy as he waited for this wish to come true, and you have allowed him the opportunity to share his vision and his gift with so many more kids. And we could not have done it, and he could not have done it without you.
It is Wish Day finally for NBA 2K and Make-A-Wish. We're here at the motion capture facility in Petaluma. William Floyd's wish is going to come true today. We're so excited to have him. Our entire staff is being geeked out. We're going to put him in the mocap suit and we're going to put him into the game. We can't wait to get started. The first step is getting the NBA player treatment. He is getting scanned in the Pixel Gun rig. It's part of the process of getting in the game.
We went in there and I looked at the different cameras and I did different poses, different smiles, faces, took a picture with Ronnie and family pictures.
William's getting all suited up and ready to go into the mocap studio.
He's going to come in, get his moves, and get his shot captured in the game, and get his thoughts on gameplay as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun, and hope he really enjoys his time here.
Yo, like a track star, starting like I'm that hard. I am that hard, looking on the backboard. Stumping on you donuts, I don't laugh hard. I am the backyard, you ever backdoors. You can find out on the court or in the backyard. I am the jack, you are at the backyard. I am out on the car, you are on the set. Way out of my caliber, I am an all-star, you all on handlebars. I'm out here trapping, Admiral Abba. I'm out here lapping, they thinking I'm NASCAR. I'm out here rapping, I'm eating those things like a rap. I'm sick with it like that, and you just answer. No question, cause I am the answer. I'm taking the lead into a new chapter. You feel that hate? That's the fight. You feel that hate? Gotta keep I feel that hate. That's your team hate.
The whole day was incredible.
When we sat down in a meeting and William got to express like all of his ideas for the next 2K.
I'm glad that I was able to share ideas for what I think should be improved, but for what other people too think as well.
He really got to learn a lot and share like what his opinion is, and we like learned everything about 2K. Like William got to create his own player.
To watch the look on William's face throughout the day-to-day, just to see the awe and the wonder and the happiness in his face as he has gotten to do everything that he's ever dreamed of, gotten to meet the people he's always dreamed of. It has been a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
He loves 2K and he's been talking about it for quite some time now.
It was really the best experience he could have ever wished for.
Shaking. I got the stadium shaking.
Welcome back, everybody, to match 2 of day 2 of the Shoot for the Stars tournament. I am Kobayashi. Join with me is Lee, and we got another redemption bracket match coming at you. We have Charger Blue versus ERAU Eagles. And before we dive into this match, we want to thank everybody who has donated so far. We have raised over $800 for Make-A-Wish Georgia, which is quite a lot of money. We thank you so much. And we also want to give a shout out to Skulls for our sponsor, who make a lot of high quality gear for people who love to game. So thank you, Skulls, for supporting this tournament.
Absolutely, and you're talking about the redemption bracket. I am definitely, this is, it's technically the losers bracket, but we call it the redemption bracket. But I'm definitely excited to get into this game because we have two. While they are on this bracket, they are two very strong teams. I was casting a match for Charger Blue yesterday, and they won their match 3-0. But then the Eagles also won their match yesterday 3-0, and so I definitely think that this is going to be a very good match between some of the top teams in this redemption bracket. So I'm excited to get into this match.
Absolutely. And the Eagles were able to win their match in part thanks to this man right here, Big Owo on the Roadhog, and he's going to be rocking that right here. Lands an immediate hook onto Ice Manta, but Emerald takes out Dolphini. So there's a bit of a trade, but right now Charger Blue looks like they're just bunkering down on the point. But Big Owo, another pick onto the Mercy.
Yeah, we're coming in here. We're seeing some of these early picks coming out, and that's really going to be influential. Knocking out Dolphini early, and it doesn't really look like it's helping them that much. Eagles are still able to come in here and kind of make a hold on this point, but we are still getting a little bit of a contest coming in from Charger Blue. Definitely not over quite yet.
Oh, absolutely. And Iceman is going to do whatever he can to just be annoying and roll around, but Big Kahuna lands the flashbang and will take him out. It is just Zisar on the point. Actually managed to get the duplicate, but immediately loses it. So this should be Charger Blue's onto this point.
Absolutely, and I think, I was talking about those early picks when we were coming in there, and then Emerald on the Tracer was actually able to get in there, and like I said, get that early pick on a Dolphini, and usually you lose that tank, it kind of staggers you a bit, leaves you a little bit exposed, but the Eagles are really able to bounce back from that and make it back onto the point, even though there was still a lot of contests from Charger.
Oh, Zisor immediately guns down Big Kahuna. Shuts down the Deadeye. There's a couple of ults being popped right now on neither side, but so far it looks like Eagles are holding strong so far. Another nice hook from Big Owo, helping his Winston stay alive, but Zisar still managing to find these picks despite the rest of the team going down. Zeko will be looking pretty clean, I will say.
Oh my gosh, seeing a little bit of a, that was a unfortunate death for Dolphini. Dolphini went all the way over the wall, but I was watching that push. That push was a little bit separated. You kind of saw some people over on the side room from Charger Blue, and then you had Zisor over on the side with the Mercy, doing a little bit of damage from the front as well. So that was a pretty separated push.
Another duplicate coming out from Zisor, but Big O is not gonna let him go quietly into that good night, but finds Ninja, and so far picks are looking pretty decent for the side of Charger Blue. But as I say, that the Nano Roadhog might make all the difference here. Big O being such a nuisance, commanding such a large presence with the power. That's the power of Roadhog. However, Emerald is flanking the healers, and this looks like maybe Charger Blue can finally get the flip here, but Ninja goes down to the Crimson version, and Emerald finding 2 picks. Surely this should be the flip.
God, they just cannot handle Crimson. Crimson pushed in a little bit late there. He was kind of chilling in the side room, and he managed to get onto the point a little late, but they just could not take care of him. He was really able to hold down the fort and wait for the rest of Charger Blue to return. And it looks like we're already seeing the rest of Charger come back as they take this point and finishing off doing some cleanup damage. And it looks like they are going to get the flip already up to about 25%.
Yeah, Stigma just provides so much versatility. Oh boy, Emerald gets the stick onto Hobo. So that's gonna slow the members of the Eagles down a little bit. They have to wait for their Onnit to come back, as that is a massive source of healing and perhaps some counterplay just gone.
Yeah, and we are seeing Emerald on this Tracer being quite the nuisance. Yesterday, Emerald was definitely but there's the hook. Still able to save it though. Emerald was being quite the nuisance yesterday, and we're seeing that once again today.
Iceman does hook Big Owo off the point, and here comes
oh my god!
But at the last moment, Hobo gets to sleep, but even in the end, Charger Blue holding on.
Gosh, now, we're seeing that they coming in, ERAU, Eagles, trying to reclaim the point, but, Charger was able to maintain their hold, but they had to use a lot of ultimates in order to maintain that. We saw the whole hog, we saw a few ultimates coming out of them, so going into this next push, we do have a few ready on the side of the Eagles, so they could easily flip this.
Big Owo goes down, but here come the members of the Eagles. They might just do it, and with thanks in part to the coalescence from Anonymous. But the hook from Ice Manta, the Roadhog's still alive, and sometimes that might be the only character you need on the point. But Big Owo does take him down. It's 99 to 99 right now, and Ninja's just gonna be using the
Oh my gosh, holy crap. Z-Store able to get those 2 picks.
Oh, the Doofus! He does such massive damage! But Delphini gonna be popping the Primal Rage, but Z-Store still alive on the point! Rocking him, socking him left and right, getting so many good picks and keeping his team in the fight, but finally is gonna go down to Big Kahuna. But it may not matter, because there's a numbers advantage for Charger Blue. It is literally just Big Owo spinning on the point. If Charger Blue can clean it up, surely they should get the flip and the point.
Oh, there's the mines as well going out, finally getting these ultimates recharged. A Big Owo is just still maintaining right now, just doing.
He refuses to say
trademark
die, you know? Yup, spin to win, baby. Sometimes that's all you need to do. But the Meteor Strike Z-Sword slams him and takes out the Reaper as well. It's just such a chaotic fight. Bob is currently sitting on the point, but Big Owo goes down to Emerald. It is just Anonymous and the Baby Diva but Charger Blue.
Oh man!
After
So
a chaotic fight, after a chaotic fight, they're gonna do it. But my goodness. Z-Sword coming back with the Doomfist managed to get his team over the line. So wonderful stuff from him.
Absolutely. I was sitting there, I was watching that, and I was wondering if Charger Blue, it seemed like they were going to be able to get at least one person back, but I definitely wasn't expecting to see that Z-Sword really able to get in there. And we saw he got those 2 picks really early going into that initial overtime contest, and that really bought them a lot of time. It kind of left the Eagles scrambling a bit. They had to get those members back, and the rest of Charger Blue, their tanks and their healers, were able to get back in there. And despite Big Owo staying alive as long as he did on the point, that definitely kept the fight going longer than I think anyone was expecting.
Right.
But those picks from those DPS on the side of Charger Blue, really able to turn the tides on that one.
Right. Speaking of the Z-Sword's Doomfist, he's just he slides to the back, but Big Owo just gonna take him down. Just ensure that the kill goes out. Thanks in part to Roadhog's hook. And if you actually take a look at the Eagles' comp, there's actually a lot of just frontline damage. They just want to brawl it out and just command just a larger presence on the point. But
oh my god, that Coalescence already going out. That was incredibly fast from Anonymous.
yeah, you know, we do talk about the DPS and some of the tanks here, but you do have to give a lot of credit to the to the supports. You know, keeping the team alive and building up such a quick Coalescence as quick as Mora's ult can build. You know, it's so crucial.
Absolutely, and you know, going into that, there was a lot of damage going on from both sides. But you know, that Coalescence charging that up quickly from Anonymous, definitely able to not only heal up the side of the Eagles, but do a lot of damage to the side of Charger Blue. And you know, despite getting those DPS back in there, Eagles are still able to take that first cap.
And there is actually quite a few ultimates built on either side because it was so scrappy. But Emerald just gonna shut down that Deadeye with a pulse bomb. No escaping from that one. Ninja gonna use the Death Blossom and is also nanoed. A lot of ults being traded out, but in the end, it looks like the Eagles are just gonna stabilize and hold the point.
Yeah, they kind of tried to keep that engagement off the point. I think they tried, you know, they came out of that initial room right there by their spawn, and then they really tried to keep that away from the point as much as they could because, you know, like we've been seeing, once some of Chargers members get on the point, they are staying there. They are not giving up easily, so they tried to kind of bring the fight to them a little bit on that one. I think that helped them out.
Emerald, the backline assassin, finally goes down to Hobo, but it may not matter. Charger Blue seem to be getting the picks they need to flip this point here. Crimson Ninja takes out Ninja. That's going to be confusing me all series, probably. But
Yeah.
in the end, they are going to get the flip and didn't need such a big investment. They only committed the window, the whole hog, and the Meteor Strike, but they still have 3 ults to work with.
3 fairly big ults, you know, we're seeing those Moiras really charging up, and it looks like Tofini is just gonna roll right in here, trying to lead the charge there.
Tons of crazy ults, but Ninja gets 2, he gets 3, and just as quickly as the flip came out from Charger Blue, the Eagles not to be outdone themselves.
No, they're definitely able to flip that back really easily, and with pretty minimal ult usage. I think we actually saw Crimson Ninja's Graphitic Flex. I think it got canceled there. I saw it go out, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be a big one. Then it just got canceled. So
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but it looks like the side of the Eagles still have plenty of ults charging up. They've got 2 ready right now, but they're already going to mine from Dolfini, trying to get some area denial before anybody can get too close.
Nicely done. And unfortunately, Emerald didn't make it in time for the touch. So just like that, the series is tied 1-1, or at least the map is, I should say.
Those mines, and then paired with the swing out from Dolfini. I was ready for a contest there. Everybody was there, but they just weren't quite able to make it in. I had just said that entry denial, you know, throwing out those mines right there, trying to make sure that they don't even get in, which I thought was interesting because Halix was able to get out that immortality field. You know, they looked like they were really ready to walk past those mines and go in for the contest, but, you know, Dolfini was just completely able to deny them that. So very nice job there from the Eagles, taking that point, tying this series up.
Right. So here we go. Point 3. This will be the decider for map number 1. Seesaw already taken so much damage, but it's going to get healed up thanks in part to Katanana and Halix. But Emerald takes out Dolfini, so the main tank and the main presence, Emerald gets 2, and it looks Charger Blue living up to their namesake, just charging forward and just finding these picks here and taking first cap. Crimson Ninja takes out Hobo. This Sigma is hurting, man.
It's an aggressive Sigma Crimson Ninja, like we saw last, on the first map. We were seeing, very aggressive Sigma plays there, able to stay alive for long periods of time. And, pairing that Sigma shield with this Roadhog, able to, pick out certain targets, pull them behind the shield. There's not a whole lot that you can do. Oh my gosh, and there we go. Ice Manta with the Hog, getting that whole Hog and finding Dolphini, and then Halix. Oh, and the hook too! Ice Manta bringing in Big Woe.
Yeah, I talked about how the Roadhogs on ERAU are so good. However, it looks like there's a new Roadhog on the map that's causing chaos, and his name is Ice Manta. And
my
a
God!
2K from Emerald, the Deadeye comes.
Flux pairing it with the Deadeye as well as the Riptire. I'm not sure if they needed that much ult usage there. I'm not sure if they needed that Deadeye as well as the Riptire, but they were still able to clear out the Eagles. But they are going to be down those ultimates now, and Eagles are definitely building up theirs. So it looks like they're ready to make a push here and try and flip this.
All right. I mean the highest noon combo, the Flux into the Deadeye, can be such a deadly combo.
Oh, there's the Nano with the whole Hog to Big Woe, not really able to find much with it, unfortunately.
Oh, the Katana is so low, and Emerald finds Ninja. Emerald keeps finding these picks. This McCree is going off, and him and Iceman are just picking up the back line of ERAU.
Oh, but Anonymous and Dolphini finding Cat and Halix. Crimson Ninja says no thank you though, gets in there and finds two for himself.
And the Flux might seal the deal here. Iceman takes out Big Kahuna, and Charger Blue take a convincing .3 and take the map, getting the first point in this best of 5 series.
Man, that was close there. We're seeing a lot of that ultimate usage going out. And, like you said at the end, that Graphitic Flux really tying things in. Able to catch a Ninja with that, but I don't think they were able to see the Tracer kind of sneaking up there, but it didn't matter. They were still able to get that pick. And, very nice performance there from Charger Blue. I will say, nice job from both teams. Even though Charger Blue was really able to hold that last map for pretty much, the entire time, there were still some really good fights there. And it was getting pretty close. We saw some picks coming in from the Eagles there during that last team fight. But then Crimson Ninja was able to get in there and find two with that Sigma. So it was very close overall. There's definitely a match on our hands, I will say.
I would have to agree with you. I think both of these teams are pretty even. We will see, of course, as we move further onto the series, and as we see what map the Eagles pick. But some very promising stuff from both teams. Big O, his Roadhog did some great work. Ninja provided a lot of damage. Anonymous, a lot of great healing there. And on the side of Charger Blue, you have Crimson Ninja on the Sigma, putting in a lot of work. And then we also have Z-Sor, coming up big. And I just got a notification that we have reached one of our donation goals. looks like we're getting an ASMR cast for this next map. So, hold on. If let me actually just pulled out who was the lovely person who donated. Looks like we got Spaghetto with donating $100 and forces us to cast this next map in our best.
This is what I get. I was making fun of
you jinxed yourself. You jinxed
I did. I had to do the Uwu casting yesterday, and I was calling out Spooked. I was like, "Oh man, that's just unlucky. You have to do the Uwu casting and the ASMR back to back." And I'm eating my words now. So that's great. But we are making fun of it. But thank you so much. for that $100 donation, Spaghetto.
Yes,
It's all
of
going to a
course.
good cause, and we do want to
Absolutely.
encourage you guys to donate as much as you can. We did just have a $100
Mhm.
donation, but any small amount that you could put towards Make a Wish is definitely appreciated. It's all going to an amazing and beautiful cause.
Absolutely.
Supporting these kids. So definitely Make a Wish Georgia. They're an amazing organization. There's some amazing people. So definitely toss in a donation. If you can't do it now, we're going to be here till December 20th doing these matches. So keep us in mind. Definitely keep watching the stream and make a donation if you get the chance. We appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's actually going to be a sub coming in here for the Eagles. So Hobo is going to be going out, and Rob is actually going to be subbed in. So from what I remember, Rob is one of the Eagles' mainstays, and if I can pull up their roster real quick, is actually the team captain. So now the Eagles might be potentially in full fighting force here now that they have their captain.
Yeah, we're breaking out the captain now. Now it's getting serious.
Yeah,
Now we're really getting here, and then I'm looking at the we have our information sheet here, so we can see everything about the players. Big Kahuna has actually been on ERAU for 2 years, and watching some of this gameplay, I can see why. It's
Yeah.
definitely clear why. So
Yep.
seeing these plays coming out,
He's quite the linchpin. Well, as we go into our next map, which is going to be Dorado. I'm gonna have to swamp here to. So welcome back to ASMR Shoot for the Stars. I'm Kobayashi, joined by Lee, and we have here ERAU Eagles on Dorado, gonna try to tie up the series now against their opponent Charger Blue. Some really exciting some really exciting Overwatch about to come your guys' way.
Absolutely, and I gotta try really hard not to laugh while I'm casting this series because my mic is so close to my face. But I am definitely excited to come into this next match, seeing this game. Hopefully, it's a lot like what we saw last round, where we're seeing these big plays coming out from both teams. It's not just one team really dominating the other. We're actually getting some really good and interesting competition going on here, and I definitely think we are going to see that coming into Dorado. Now, this is a escort map, as opposed to the control points like we saw last time. So there's a lot more dynamic plays that
Right.
have to happen as you go into here.
Yeah. We're actually going to be seeing Zsor come out with the Genji and Emerald on the McCree, like we saw from last map, and Ninja is going to be playing the Soldier 76, and Dolfini is going to be on the Ash, so a double hit scan setup for ERAU.
Yeah, we are going to still be seeing that that Sigma Roadhog composition coming in from both teams, really trying to get those hooks in. We are, oh my gosh, already seeing another hook there onto Big O. Big O getting quite the surprise there as he gets hooked from the high ground, but he is going to strike down Emerald. Oh my, I don't know if I'm allowed to get excited during ASMR, but we did see a very nice hook there coming in from Big O, hooking Emerald right off that high ground. I don't think he was expecting that.
No, I don't think he was. But Zsoy continuing to be a nuisance in the back line, getting these dash kills and making the Anonymous and Big Kahuna's job all the more harder. But right now, the Eagles are struggling to push past this underpass area, which can be such a major defensive position here. And if they can manage to push past here, they should have an easier time pushing into A. But Emerald takes out Dolfini, so the cowboy bests the cowgirl, and Emerald also takes out Big Kahuna, also finds a third pick. So Emerald just going absolutely crazy on this McCree.
Now, I have been told, according to chat, that we need to be softer. Our ASMR is not soft enough. Thank you, Jay Reddy, for the suggestion there. The long, drawn-out softer that we are seeing in chat. But, like you were saying, we saw a pretty even fight there underneath this arch. This arch is definitely
a very critical choke point. You know, once you get past this arch, it's a little bit easier to move into that first, checkpoint of the map. And we saw some pretty even fights there, and a lot of hooks coming in from both
Yep.
teams. Oh my God, Ice Manta is just absolutely going in there, and Zsor as well, pulling out that Dragon Blade, finding Anonymous, and then finding one more as well. And Emerald is also able to take out Big O. So I'm definitely very impressed with the plays going on right now. And that was a very unfortunate hook there from Ice Manta onto
Yeah.
poor innocent Rob, who
Yeah.
was hanging out outside of the spawn point.
Yeah. I do want to say though that Charger Blue only had to use 2 ultimates to win that fight, so they are doing a good job
Wow.
at ult management. And there's only a minute left on the clock for ERAU Eagles.
Oh my gosh, the amount of ultimate usage that I just saw right there. We saw the Widow, we saw the Graphitic Flux, and we also saw Emerald coming out with that Deadeye, able to find 2 picks there. An amazing job there from Emerald, really able to get in there, get those 2 very critical picks, and send the Eagles all the way back to the spawn point, even though they aren't too far away. But unfortunately, that was a lot of ultimate usage coming in from the side of Charger Blue, and it looks like the Eagles are almost ready to strike back with the ultimates in their bank.
However, both tanks are gone. There actually looks like they might reset, but here is the Nano Visor, but it's not gonna find anything. Although, however, as I say that, Ninja finally goes down, but Rob has left the game, so we might have a pause. Hopefully we get it very soon.
Yeah, it looks like we're supposed to be having a pause right now, but it looks like, oh, there it
There
is,
we
there's
go.
the pause.
Yes.
It looks like a lot of the teams were definitely still trying to sneak in some damage there, but Rob, I believe I saw Rob fall off of something?
Yeah, so
If I was reading the feed
he
correctly, he fell
yes.
off of something and then left the game. I don't know if that was a connection error. I'm gonna assume that it was.
Yes. But so if you just noticed there, so Anonymous Nano Ninja to maybe buy some space with the Nano Visor, didn't find any picks off of that, but did allow the team to take some space. And so right now on the side of Charger Blue, you do have Ice Manta's whole hog online. If Emerald lands several more shots, he might be able to build the Deadeye, and really, it looks like both teams really have to work with at the current moment is their respective Roadhogs whole hogs. But
Yeah.
I have to say though, it Big O may have found his match in Ice Manta's Roadhog.
Absolutely, and both of these Roadhogs, I've been kind of watching them. They're doing a very good job of keeping up these kind of hook battles. Everyone's kind of in a constant state of paranoia as you go into these fights because Big O and Ice Manta are constantly looking for these side hooks. We're seeing them sometimes pulling people off of the high ground or pulling people behind that shield, and it's really influential in getting those, very quick picks there, getting rid of the squishy players. And even sometimes we're able to get some of these tanks, pull them behind that shield, and just let the DPS and the healers lay on the damage. So it's definitely very good to see both of these hogs being, critical to the team's composition.
Absolutely. And we're getting confirmation that yes, Rob unfortunately DC'd. So it looks like they're gonna bring in an emergency sub here. They're gonna Hobo will be coming back in. We hopefully we will have Rob hopefully rejoin the match somehow, or if he doesn't, at the very least he'll be able to cheer on his team, who are currently looks like they're gonna have to complete an overtime push into A and hopefully get more time on their attack here on Dorado.
Oh, and it looks like our pause is going away now. It looks like we are going to be ready to go into this next match. We do have Hobo ready. Big O kind of taking a pause there, and as soon as we load in, we're already in overtime. Oh my god. Okay, Big O just coming right out of that pause and taking out Zsor. Absolutely
Mhm.
insane there. Emerald getting pushed off that high ground by Hobo already.
Yeah, I will say I do like the Winston pick coming out of Hobo. A lot of ults being popped on either side.
Oh my gosh, that
But
was almost very unfortunate for the side of the Eagles. That Graphitic Flux, if they had been in overtime for just a little bit longer, I think that Graphitic Flux might have held them completely off of the payload,
oh,
and that
here
might have been a
comes
winner for
the
Charger.
Dragon Blade Zsor, gonna be just slicing and dicing his way through the members of Charger Blue, and that, or not Charger Blue, excuse me, the Eagles, and that is actually gonna do it. Charger Blue are gonna hold on here just a little bit past the bridge of A, so they're gonna have a massive advantage going into their attack. But if there's a chance that ERAU Eagles can defend, it's definitely here on Dorado A. As long as they hold them underneath that bridge, like Charger Blue did, there's still a chance to win this.
Absolutely, and when you're looking at this, it doesn't seem like they made that much progress, but just thinking about just how good both of these teams are, they're very good at what they do. They're both on some very high level, uh, you know, areas of play, and so coming into this, you're seeing them just making it past that arch, but like I was saying before, that arch is very, very difficult to get through, especially when you have both of these very evenly matched, teams competing. And so I definitely think that they could, Eagles could definitely still make a hold here if they play this correctly. They look like they're going for, opting for the monkey plays here. Hobo going to be kind of chilling out on the high ground with this Winston,
Mhm.
opting out of the Sigma that we have been seeing. Crimson Ninja
Yeah.
and Ice Manta are still rocking that Sigma Roadhog, but it looks like Eagles are going to try and go without it this time.
Yeah. I will say while you do lose the shield with the Winston instead of the Sigma, what Hobo's pick provides is just control of that high ground, being able to just leap back and forth and just be able to just annoy Zsor to where like he won't be able to dive in and get these picks for free. And yup, you see the Eagles just on a quick rotation. They're gonna have to rotate now if they want to secure their defense here. Oh, but
That was an
Hobo goes.
extremely quick rotation, and Ice Manta and Ziso are really able to get in there and already taking out both of the tanks. We're already seeing a window there from the Baptiste as well, but getting a very nice sleep there from Anonymous. Hallex is unfortunately taking a quick nap there on the point, and then it looks like we're getting this Dragon Blade just for flair, and Charger Blue is going to take map 2 Dorado.
Yeah. I will say it was a quite a quick ASMR map.
It was a very quick ASMR map, and I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna go ahead. It's so hard not to be excited.
I can be hype again. No.
I know, it's so hard watching these coming out. I'm like, oh my god, Zsor, he's got the Dragon Blade already, and it was,
Yeah.
it's so hard to
Okay.
watch that and not get hyped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 7 Dragon Blade kills for Zsor. Very impressive stuff coming out from him. But while I was casting that match, I had the image of like the golf commentators. I imagine like this was just
Yeah.
the Masters, and so but all in all, just quite fun. I actually did get a critique that I was supposed to be whispering. It wasn't Joyce ASMR, so I apologize. I'm gonna stop because
yeah.
Once again, thank you Spaghetto for the donation. I will if it happens later in the tournament, I'll do my best to improve upon my performance. But regardless, that puts Charger Blue in a very comfortable spot. They're up 2-0 now, and this is possibly the very last map for the series here. ERAU Eagles are gonna have to go back to the drawing board and find a good map choice to maybe get a point here. And it looks like we might be going to King's Row.
Oh yeah, Winter Wonderland, Kings Row. And like you said, this could be the final match for Charger Blue. Charger, this is a best of 5, but it is first to 3. Charger Blue already up 2-0. We were pretty close on Lijiang Tower for that first map, but Charger Blue really trying to come out here and really assert their dominance in this series. On that second map, and I really think that they were able to show out with a really strong defense on Dorado. And I was expecting to see just a little bit more of a contest there from the Eagles, but they were really shifted off that high ground pretty quickly. Charger Blue was able to maintain that, and I think that was in part due to having that shield tank, which unfortunately the Eagles did not. Hobo was on that Winston as opposed to running that Sigma. Once you get rid of that shield, there's a little bit less defense for the rest of the team. So while one of the tanks is diving, you really aren't having that much protection for the rest of your players in that back line. And so I think that was
Right.
really what might have given Charger Blue the upper hand there. They had that shield, they had that sort of mobile, defense going with them, and I think that definitely helped them push that archway really quickly and prepare themselves for the Eagles shift, to that bottom part of the arch.
Right, and so tournament life on the line now for ERAU. They're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to pull out all the stops here to really, hopefully, stay alive. But they're gonna be running a very standard composition that many people are familiar with on Kings Row. They're gonna be running the Rein Zarya alongside the Genji and an Ashe. So we might be able to see Ninja's Genji slice and dice through the members of Charger Blue, but Charger Blue gonna be rocking what they're most comfortable with, which does seem to be the Roadhog Sigma.
Yeah, I haven't really seen that much of a change yet from the Roadhog Sigma, but it looks like the Eagles are already just trying to roll past this statue here, already approaching the point, getting, pretty much instantly into this team fight. But it looks like Charger Blue maintaining that high ground. Oh my gosh. Zsor getting that damage boost from the Mercy. That is some brutal stuff.
Yep, controlling the high ground can be so important, and we see Zsor and his Crimson Ninja on the Sigma do a great job of just making sure that Big Woe and the rest of his team cannot fight very comfortably, but they are going to get a tick so far.
Yeah, Big O able to dash himself onto that checkpoint and get that first tick. It seemed pretty out of position there, but Big O was really able to get in there and at least get that, one spot, just to make sure that they get at least some progress, for their next push. They don't have as far to go. But, I was watching Big O in the payload, but I was also seeing Zsor over here on the side. I was just talking about that damage boosted Mercy, and Zsor is absolutely relentless on defending this high ground. He's very territorial right now on this high ground, absolutely refusing to give it up with the soldier.
Yeah. He's like Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith, he just wants to. But a savior pin ensures that Emerald can't do any more work with the blade, and now we see ERAU Eagles moving forward and just taking all the space given to them. Oh no! The ice mantle with the window whole hog is just gonna ensure that Big O-Wo's Earth Shatter doesn't touch the ground, and
Charger Blue from Cat.
Yep. So Charger Blue gonna somehow hold the point. They did commit quite a few ultimates there, but you do see Crimson Ninja building up that Gravitic Flux, and Cat does have the Valkyrie, so to maybe keep the team in the fight.
Man, I really thought they had that there. I really thought the Eagles were going to be able to get in there. Big Kahuna finding 2 major picks with that Ashe. But you know, the window paired with the visor and the whole hog just really sealed the deal for Charger Blue.
Oh, absolutely. And we do see Delfini have the grab here, but Hobo goes down, but Delfini, not to be outdone,
there's
and lands a nice Graviton Surge. Somehow Emerald takes out Delfini with a yeeted Pulse Bomb, but somehow Charger Blue still holds on!
Charger Blue, absolutely insane right now. You know, we saw Cat switch over from, you know, defending Zsor to changing over, defending Ice Manta, giving that damage boost, leaving them the room to push in there, getting that healing, getting that damage when, you know, Roadhog is quite a tank. Oh my gosh. Separating Ninja right there, taking that out down to 30 seconds. Ice Manta.
This is Life Fight territory. And Big Owo's shield is just gonna get shredded and finished off by Zsor. So this is it. They have to make something happen here, but I don't know if it will be. Zsor just gonna pop the visor, and the window might seal the deal. Delphine.
Oh, there's dive from the monkey though. Oh my god. Ice Manta shutting down Delphini, but they are able to come in here, get that shatter off. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's really gonna do much for them. Getting that tracer onto the point with
Here's
the nano
tracer though. The pulse bomb, no stick. And Big Kahuna is gonna go down. Ninja with a last minute Death Blossom to maybe turn things around here, but it looks like Charger Blue are gonna hold strong, only allowing 59.2% onto A and setting themselves up for the match win here.
And that was an amazing job there from Charger Blue. You know, like we said, that team fight that came up before that last one, you know, we saw the window plus the visor plus the whole hog, and I wasn't thinking that they were going to be able to pull something off like that again, but when they went in for that last team fight, they were able to pop all three at once again. Or I think we only saw two. I think we only saw the visor and the whole hog, my mistake. But they were able to once again pop a lot of ultimates together, which is very, you know, it's hard to do. It's hard to really match up all of those ultimates at the same time. But they were able to get all those in and push Eagles all the way back to spawn, you know, completely.
Oh no, please, please no. I'm seeing the Charger Blue composition, and I'm seeing the teleporting Bastion strat. So this composition, they're just gonna try to send Emerald to the top of the statue with the teleporter and just have him rain hell down upon ERAU. So if ERAU Eagles want to hold, they're gonna have to somehow defend against what could be a devastating composition here out of Charger
Looks like
Blue.
Big O might be expecting it. Big O is kind of looking at the sky right now. I think he's waiting on it.
Too well, here it is.
Oh,
Here's
here
the
we go,
teleporter.
yeah.
And but it immediately gets hooked off, but it doesn't matter. They're still set up in position, and Big O goes down. Big Kahuna with the jump
Zsor with the Symmetra. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Why
he's
did Big O
charged
land
up.
on
He's
me?
beaming people down. The hook from Ice Manta. It is just Hobo and Ninja left to defend the point, but GG's in the chat. Charger Blue gonna secure this series with a clean 3-0. My goodness.
Man, I was watching that. I really thought that push wasn't gonna work. I did not think that the teleporting Bastion was gonna pan out because I was scrolling over to that statue, just to get a visual, and I saw Big O. Big O was extremely suspicious of that play. Big O was just looking right up there at the top. He knew what was coming.
Yeah,
and he was able to get a really nice hook though.
Yeah, but in the end, I guess like we have to crown a new Roadhog, and that's Ice Manta's Roadhog. So I mean, like Ice Manta basically came into the game, and he was like, "Hey, heard you got a good Roadhog. Well, let me show you mine." And he put in just as much, if not more, work than a Big O. So congratulations to Charger Blue for moving on in the redemption bracket. Although it is unfortunate, we do have to say farewell to a very strong competitor in ERAU Eagles.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to say very nice job to the Eagles. Once again, we are in this redemption bracket, but both of these teams are absolutely amazing at what they do. They're on these teams for a reason. You do have to keep that in mind. Even though Charger Blue was able to come out on top of this one, both teams, they definitely showed out today, did an amazing job representing their schools. So definitely thank you guys so much for coming out, participating in this tournament. And we are going to see tomorrow, actually the Gamecocks are going to be going against Charger Blue.
Ooh, that should be a good match. That should be a very good match.
Absolutely. The Gamecocks, unfortunately, they did lose their last game against ETSU. They've been doing very well in this series so far, but they did get
Right.
sent to the redemption bracket,
Mhm.
earlier today. And so it's definitely going to be interesting to see how Gamecocks stack up against Charger Blue, who have been absolutely dominating the redemption bracket.
That they have. They've gone on quite the run here. And this will actually be a rematch.
Oh yeah.
Charger Blue did fall 3-0 to the Gamecocks, and they did send them to this redemption bracket. But since then, Charger Blue has been on a complete tear. So who knows? Maybe we might see them 3-0 the Gamecocks. But all in all, I really do hope that this redemption bracket final will go the distance. I hope we see a 5-match series.
Absolutely, and I think we definitely will get to see some very nice games tomorrow. But once again, we do want to thank you guys so much for coming out and watching the stream today. Unfortunately, it does have to end. But we will be back tomorrow. Like I said, first match of the day, 1 p.m. We're gonna see Gamecocks versus Charger Blue. It's gonna be a really fun match. I'm not sure who's gonna be casting that one tomorrow, but I will see you at 2:45. And I don't, Christian, do you know when you're gonna be casting tomorrow?
Let me check the schedule here. Here we go. So actually, I will be casting that match.
Oh, well, there you go. You're gonna see Christian back.
Yeah, with my good friend Mariana. So yeah, no, it's gonna be great. And we also do have grand finals actually as well coming right after that. So all in all, some really fantastic matches tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. But real quick before we wrap up the stream, I do want to once again thank all the people in the chat who've donated. We have now raised $938, which is incredible.
Ooh, let's go.
We're just shy of 1,000. So keep those donations coming. And thank you to everyone who has donated so far. You've been amazing. And also thanks again to Skulls for sponsoring this wonderful tournament and providing some amazing gear. But that is going to do it for myself and Lee. Thank you, Lee, for being my partner and also doing some interesting
Suffering through the
casting with me. Yeah.
casting.
You know what? But we're doing this for a wonderful cause. So.
Absolutely, and if you are thinking about making any big donations tomorrow, you might want to do it at 1 p.m. Eastern instead of 2:45 Eastern, when Christian is gonna be casting.
I want to see both have some weird casting. Okay, chat. Here's a quick deal. Because if you let me do the ASMR casting, have the grand map, please, if we can do that, that'd be wonderful. But
returning to my normal voice, that is gonna do it for myself and Lee. Thank you guys so much for
Bye. Have a good day,
stopping
guys.
by. Yeah, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the finals. See you later.